It is connecting now.
Excellent. And I will start recording. And we are recording.
We are live.
Excellent. And we are recording. Good morning. Morning. I'm Daryl Eatman, Chief Examiner and the host of today's Civil Service Commission meeting. Leanne Guzman, the Executive Assistant to the Director, is our co-host. Please be aware, if you are disconnected during the meeting, please click on your calendar or email invite to join the meeting again. Please keep yourself on mute until you are called upon. If you are using a phone, use *6 to mute or unmute yourself. Once the commission has addressed your agenda item, you may leave the meeting. We have a quorum of our commission members. This time I give the meeting to Pastor Gregory Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Eatman. We'll begin with our roll call. Michael Flickinger, Vice President.
Present.
India Pierce Lee, Secretary. Is Ms. Lee with us? Oh, there
looks like she's on mute.
You're muted. You're muted, India.
President, having trouble unmuting.
There you go. So Ms. Lee is with us, and Cyrus L. Patton.
Present.
And Gregory Jordan is present. Counsel, Patricia Aston, Assistant
Present.
Director of Law. Office of the Civil Service Commission staff, Rachon Long, Executive Director. Leanne Guzman, Assistant to the Executive Director.
Present.
Daryl Eatman, Chief Examiner.
Present.
Lila Abrams Fitzpatrick, Business and Operation Manager.
Present.
Anthony Hitton, Examiner Supervisor.
Present.
So our court reporter present.
Present.
Agenda guest, Anthony Brown.
Present.
Alyssa Hernandez, Director of Community Development. Anthony Scott, Assistant Director of Community Development. Joy Anderson, Bureau Chief, Community Development.
Present.
Thank you.
And I believe the assistant director just logged in.
Okay.
Correct. I'm sorry for my delay. I was having technical issues.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to item 2, accepting of today's agenda.
Motion to approve Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor.
Lee, aye. Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 3, approval of the minutes from March 28th, 2025 Civil Service Commission meeting.
Motion to approve Flickinger. Second, Lee.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor.
Lee, aye. Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan abstaining. That motion was approved. Item 4, approval of the routine matters.
Motion to approve Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor.
Lee, aye. Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 5, consideration of the request from Anthony Brown to appeal the termination of employment from the Department of Community Development. Since we have parties from both sides, we just want to let you know you have a total of 10 minutes. You can do your 10 minutes all together, or you can break it into segments. But at this time, we're going to ask for the representative from the city to speak. It's you're on the, excuse me, you're on the floor.
This is Assistant Director Scott. I yield to Bureau Chief Joy Anderson.
Okay.
Thank you, committee. The Department of Community Development is continuing to support a decision to terminate Anthony Brown from the position of budget analyst. When we hired him on January 14th, it was with the expectation that he would be able to fill a critical role in our budget section, which requires frequent communication with various departments throughout the city of Cleveland, and also with partners within the Department of Community Development. He came to our department with over 25 years professional work experience, including work experience in the Department of Finance, but was uncomfortable and dissatisfied with the training platform that has worked for others in our department. He was dissatisfied and disrespectful to the trainers that we had identified with the department, not comfortable with the pace of training that we offered, and was beginning to become a constant concern due to interruptions on the work and operation in other sections of our department, specifically our accounting section. We are here again to respond to any questions that the committee may have about that decision.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Anderson, you have the floor. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Mr. Brown, I believe it is. Yes. Mr. Brown, you have the floor.
Okay, first of all, I wasn't dissatisfied with any of the other departments or anything like that. I was just concerned that the training wasn't sufficient, because with the controller, it was only a half an hour, and she did just one example. Dwayne, I forgot his last name. I think it's Dawson. And he said he wasn't familiar with it either. And he was having a hard time trying to learn too. When he was showing me, he just said he just doesn't usually do it. So he was the wrong trainer. And every time she asked Deborah Mitchell to train me, she never did. So I wrote an email and I copied, I think it was McKeel on that, the AD. And she got upset with that and said, I would have told Deborah to tell you how to do it, but she told her like about 4 or 5 times, train him, let him shadow you. Never shadowed her, never got training from her. She was always busy running around. And every time I asked her, she had something else to do. As far as disrespect, like I said before, as soon as I came into the department and we had that meeting in that, me and Joy Anderson had a meeting conference room. And she was telling me all about Frank Badalamenti's son. He's in financial reporting and control. And I was wondering, why are you telling me all this? It doesn't have anything to do with me just because I worked with Frank 20 years ago. And then, so the word got around, and then we went down to training, and he didn't train. He let people who had been there for years and years, 10, 20 years, get up there and do examples. but he never gave initial training on navigation. So then I sat down and asked him a question, and he said, he sent me an email. I have email verification. He said, how can you learn that so fast? I mean, how can you read through that so fast? And he actually copied Camargo, Leslie, I think her name is, in FRC, and said, on that. And that was a conversation between me and him. So it looked like it was a concerted effort to defame my character. And I was always respectful to everybody, all the people I contacted, Ashley Fitzgerald and other people in different departments, to get the information that Joy requested, all the information that we needed, a description of where the money was going, how many hours people worked for it, and how the money was spent, and different things like that. And we needed that a form for that. So I sent out an email for everybody, and they got formed. She never told me that I was doing a bad job. Matter of fact, she did a satisfactory review, except for the misunderstanding about getting along with other people, which was not true. Once Adam found out that I worked for his father, I don't know if they had a conversation with his father or anything. Can't speak on that, but his attitude changed tremendously. So I had a real hard time, because I was wondering why Joy kept saying, Adam's here, Adam's here. I don't understand that. It doesn't have anything to do with me. So that's where I stand right now, because my character is being defamed, and the way that department is run, just people don't listen to people. The only reason I sent that email to AD Wackers was because she said, you can send them to the assistant directors, but don't send them to the director. So I just copied them, because I'm like, Deborah's not training me, and she's not coming over. She's not letting me shadow me, and nobody is holding her accountable for her end of the deal, because she was supposed to be doing the training. And that's really what happened. Because she said she kept saying, I'm new at this too. I don't know this, I don't know this. So she doesn't even know how to do it. And it's just a myriad of things like that. It's very unorganized, if you ask me. I mean, and then they lie on people and expect, just because they're in a certain position, that everybody's going to rubber stamp their lies and their deceit. Because if she could have put on the review, well, Anthony's not doing this, he's not doing that, and she could have called me in her office and told me, different things that I needed to do, but she didn't. And she didn't give anybody any time to acclimate to the environment around us, because it's a lot of talking in that environment, it's a lot of laughing, it's a lot of joking around. I was wondering why the girl in accounting got trained so well by Mabel, I think it was. She got trained really well every day. I'm just sitting there. Joy says, watch these movies. Then the lead group comes in, watch these movies, these videos, 2.5, 3 hours. Watching them every day. Nobody training me. Nobody letting me shadow them. Nobody doing anything but laughing and talking and joking. So it was a very immature environment. I'm a consummate professional, and I've been a director of finance, and I know accounting backwards and forwards. And I'm just saying, the way they tried to make me look like the guilty, like I wasn't doing my job. I was, and you can see by the review. Now, if something was unsatisfactory, put it down there so I can take a look at it. And I didn't hear it. So I can take a look at it and figure out what's going on and try to do better. But nobody even told me that. They gave me the impression that I was doing a good job. So that's pretty much where we stand now. I don't know why they do this to employees at all, because I don't know, I guess it's just a culture. Because when I got there, a lot of people were telling me, oh, this person just left, the budget manager. The person, Felicia Mays, I think her name was, she just left. And then another lady on the other side, I can't think of her name right now. She just left. She was one of the bureau chiefs or manager on the other side of the department. I can't think of her name right now, but she left. I said, why is everybody leaving? Why does anybody know anything? And I'm not the only one that felt this way, because Naomi in a meeting with Led, she was actually crying because they said, you didn't do this. They said, nobody ever trained me. And she was really upset, crying. I said, oh, I'm not the only one. I'm like, wow. I just really couldn't believe my eyes or my ears, because she hadn't been trained. And you could tell that she really wanted to learn, but nobody was giving her the opportunity to learn. And I'm like, this is really ridiculous. What's going on here? They hire you to do a job, but they don't want to show you the key things to do. And when they do, they delay. As you can see on the review, how she says she's slowing things down. And I'm like, I don't want to wait to the end of probation and then say, I need some clarification on this. I need it now. But she was slowing down, and we didn't get the permissions for Advantage for who knows the longest. So I just had to sit there every day and look at videos and do nothing. And then when she comes around, well, I looked at the videos and took the test. I got about 10 certificates from that. So I'm
Mr.
just
Brown,
saying,
you have 1 minute left.
I'm just saying that I think that you can consider both parties' statements thoroughly and look at the accusations, and then look at the evaluation report and give a fair judgment and not a rubber stamp to the process. From my understanding, the commission is fair and impartial,
Mr.
and
Brown,
I'm just hoping
that concludes your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Anderson.
I would like to particularly point to statements made by Mr. Brown about conversations regarding Adam Badalamenti. I have never had a conversation with Anthony Brown about Adam Badalamenti. In fact, I have only had 2 communications of my own with Mr. Badalamenti, and they were both in relation to my own personal training on the Advantage system. I was not aware that Mr. Brown had a history with Adam Badalamenti or his father until he brought it to my attention in this forum. So just for the record, I need to clarify that I never had a conversation with Anthony Brown about Mr. Adam Badalamenti.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions from the commission? Well, Ms. Anderson, I have one. Oh, go ahead, Cyrus.
I was gonna direct the question in regards to the performance review, cooperation with others, where it says Anthony says he's dissatisfied with trainings city provided to the Advantage Access System, criticism of common resources, professional, it's not professional, and that's where the one of the 2 needs improvement marks came from. What would have been the correct form for him to express his concern with the trainings? And you said this last time, but Pastor Jordan was not here. Can you go into detail about how the trainings are set up and what would have been the correct form for him to present his dissatisfaction with the training?
He did use the correct forum. to express concerns about training. We actually had a follow-up meeting after he had a training with management and finance, a training that he attended with a budget analyst from our accounting section. I wanted that employee to attend the training with Mr. Brown to provide support when he came back to the department and started implementing what he learned. Mr. Brown said he felt that training was a waste of time because the trainer, Leslie Camargo, showed him shortcuts, and he wanted to learn the process from the beginning. Those are his words exactly. After he attended the mandatory city training for the Advantage system, he told me that the trainer catered to the others who were being trained during the session, and that the others had more experience with Advantage than he had. So he felt totally ignored by the trainer.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about the videos that we're giving to Mr. Brown. Is that your standard practice with all new employees?
There is no formal or established training structure. It depends on what the job is and what the employee brings to the table when they are hired. Mr. Brown was presented with a peer-to-peer training platform being supported by our accounting manager, a budget analyst, and he was also given the mandatory training for Advantage, and I do believe that Advantage has a series of videos to support that training. We encouraged him to augment his training with videos. He is mentioning that he was also provided videos around the lead program. So those are the structures that we provided for him. He did mention and compare his training to what was being provided to a new hire in a financial analyst position, which is an entry-level position in our accounting section. The person going into that role had no experience with public sector finance and was being given instruction by a person in the accounting section. In contrast, the budget analyst position is a senior level position in our budget section. Mr. Brown came to that position with more than 20 years experience in budget finance. I do believe that his primary issue or concern centered around becoming acclimated with the Advantage system. And that was one of the concerns that we had with retaining him as an employee in this department. Advantage is essential to the work of the budget analyst, and it is just one of 3 data systems that a person in that position is expected to navigate. The others being IDIS, which is a federal grants management data system, and Power Apps, which is our internal grants management system. All systems are complex and challenging in the sense that they do not talk to each other. Others have been able to manage and navigate those systems effectively with the training that we have provided. Our concern is that Mr. Brown is not able to learn even the first system with the training that we provided and is dissatisfied with the training platform and the trainers and the pace that we were able to provide.
I have another.
Pastor Jordan, may I
Yes.
supplement that answer a little bit? This is
Yes,
Assistant
please.
Director Scott. Not speaking to Mr. Brown specifically, but to your question about what's standard. So we've had to repurpose an individual in the Bureau of Residential Improvement to be able to assist with budget and accounting functions. That was a role that was previously occupied by Ms. Mays, who left to go to another role that paid substantially more and was more in line with her academic career. So we've put a person in a place to supplement, and that person has indeed had to go through a multitude of different modules, videos, training. HUD Exchange itself is a training platform that HUD utilizes where they create YouTube videos to acclimate you to their programs and their various video systems. So not Advantage, but things such as ITIS, ELOCs. These are things that are essential for grants management and being able to understand the budget and fiscal functions within it. So this is something that Mr. Billups, who we've used in the interim capacity, is going through these same types of modules and videos.
Thank you. Are there
Yes, sir.
any further questions from the commission? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Motion to deny the request under Civil Service Rule 6.80.-C.
Second,
It's been moved.
Flickinger.
Thank you, sir. It's been moved and seconded to deny the request. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, no.
Jordan, no. So, Ms. Aston, where do we stand now?
Thank you, Pastor Jordan.
Can I
The love-
propose another? Can I propose another motion, or an alternative motion?
I believe that's proper.
I'd like to propose a motion to extend the probationary period. Rationale being that it appears that the termination was the performance review shows only 2 areas where needs improvement was needed after a month, and it was not performance related. It seems like there was related to complaints about training, which I think are valid. You know, the training is not streamlined, and I'm not sure who he would express that to, if not to his assistant director. So I would ask that the board consider extended probation period and the department figure out how to train somebody with this person who doesn't have performance issues. I mean, talent is necessary, jobs need to be done. So that's my motion to the board. My proposed alternative motion to the board to consider.
Do I have a second? Well, I'll second that motion. And it's been moved and seconded to extend the probationary period. All in favor?
Discussion, Pastor?
Oh,
Very
yes, ma'am.
briefly. Do you have a period of time that you are providing on any such extension?
Well, we are already in April. The initial probation period was to go 6 months. So May, June, 2 months, June. Well, I guess that would be 3, April, May.
That's
I'm
at your
open.
pleasure. I was just seeing if you had a specific time period that you were providing under your motion. That's it, at the commission's decision.
Exactly how long was Mr. Brown employed?
His start date was January 14th. The date of termination was March 7th.
Okay. So he was in there for January for 3 months. I agree with Mr. Patton. Can we make it that we extended another 3 months, which would be the total of the probationary period. that
I
was
think that's fair. I think that's fair. I would support that.
Okay, so we have the
Yep.
motion to extend his probationary period for 3 months. Mr. Patton has placed that on the floor and I have seconded. So I now call for a vote. All in favor of the proposed motion signify by saying aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. All opposed.
Lee, opposed.
Flickinger opposed.
All right, now this time for real, it's in your hands, Ms. Aston.
Thank you, Pastor Jordan. The law provides that when there is a split of 2-2 split, that the underlying administrative decision is upheld. That is the law in Ohio.
Okay. Well, saying that that is the law, it has, the city's actions have been upheld in this case. Thank you all for coming and giving us some insight on that particular item. Moving on to item 6, rejection of applications, 5-day, no appeal for the classifications of public health sanitarian, open. Parking coordinator, open. Supervisor of parking enforcement, open. Approve.
Motion,
Do I have a motion?
motion to approve. Flickinger.
Second,
Second.
Patton.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 7, approval of the final eligible list for the classifications of public health sanitarian, open. Parking coordinator, open. Supervisor of parking enforcement, open.
Motion to approve. Flickinger.
Secondly,
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 8, consideration of the following bulletins. Assessment analyst, open. Buyer, open. Community relations representative, open. Geriatric outreach worker, open. Redevelopment coordinator, open. Street equipment maintenance specialist, open. Accountant clerk 1, open. Accountant clerk 2, open. Airport building maintenance worker, open.
Motion to approve. Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the list. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. And with that, I do believe we stand adjourned.
This meeting of the Civil Service Commission has concluded. We will now conclude broadcasting this virtual meeting.